everybody. I'm just putting the comment down. I hope everybody is safe. So we have the onset of monsoon in Bombay. Temperatures are down to 30 degrees nearabouts. And I think today is the first day of opening of lockdown 1.0. So hi Saiba. Seems like we're having a family get together here on Instagram Live. These are conversations with engineers, music producers, and engineers/engineers, and we're just trying to get to know them a little better, put a face to the name which we all see in the credits, and find out a little bit more about them, their way of working, their way of thinking, their perspective on the music that they mix, and in general on life, because it has a huge impact on the work that they do. So the idea was just to get to know them, and we are trying to see however many we can get from all over India and maybe some abroad to come and participate in the DAC series. Yeah, Deepak is here, so he's waved to me. So let's see if we can get him on.
Hello.
There is the man with his blue Audio Technica M50X.
What are you wearing?
Okay, I explained this earlier to a lot of people. I am wearing these Bluetooth headphones from a company called Human Technology from the US. So they
Okay.
are just like two separate pods which just sit on your ears, and
Okay.
they have a nice blend-in feature which can take in ambience from outside, so you don't feel isolated, or you can isolate yourself.
Oh,
And it also has translation real time in 3 languages, my friend.
oh. Cool.
Yeah, so just something which I really liked, and so we are using that. So welcome, Deepak. There are a lot of people who wanted to find out more details about you, the way you work, the way you think. So we thought it best to get hold of you and put you in the courthouse here. So, so
आज
what
की
we'll do
अदालत.
is आज की अदालत. So the first thing we want to take off is, so how many guitar chords do you know?
Very less. See, the
Very
thing is,
less.
when I I actually started learning guitar. I used to play guitar and all, but the thing is, when I was 14, I moved to audio engineering. Some of the situations happened, and I ended up accidental move towards audio engineering, and that's
Mm,
it. But the thing is, whenever I play guitar, but I always love open string based chords and all, which has
okay.
less work to
Less.
deal with. Lazy.
So, so what you just said was it was at the age of as early as 14
Yeah,
that the shift to audio engineering happened. I mean, you must be one of the rare guys or kids who had that early introduction to audio engineering per se. How did that happen? Like, I mean, and what happened? I
uh,
mean,
and it's very difficult to even relate to someone like say now. Imagine there is for cricket there is Sachin. So
mm,
for music there is Rahman sir. So there is someone there to relate it to. But basically there are no audio engineers to show. Like now there is like Rasul Pukati or like all there are so many things, so many people are there to relate it to, and a child can tell their parents or parents can tell their kids
yeah,
that
so there are now engineers that can inspire other kids to actually want to become
exactly
engineers. Okay, all right.
true. But the thing is, there's the at that time there's nothing, and the speed is like 56 kilobytes dial-up network to deal with. It was hard to go. But even when I came from Vizag to Mumbai to work with Ranjit Barut sir, a lot of people actually thought that I would come back to Vizag within 1 week. That was the confidence they had also. So
Oh,
when I landed, the second half of Mehuna was happening. Ranjit sir was doing background score.
okay, right.
So that was the scary part. Like, and the thing is, I was born and brought up in basically Pro Tools and DM 800 that time.
Yes, Roland.
Yeah. So when I came here, it was, and that was Yamaha O2R I used to work in Vizag. And here it is
Mm,
completely analog. He used to have Mac Angela, the analog console. Right from beginning, I used to have the Kida to check on all the new softwares, whatever is there, even if I was not operating on it. Like when someone used to program and all, I used to open MC50 and I used to check how to quantize and all. Even I was not a major programming and all. And when everyone used to be busy on the music gear and all, I used to literally program beats on Pro Tools actually.
Oh,
So
okay.
take one kick and put it and program it, and so that way I used to create much better groove than actually a programmer's, because it was all picked and choose from a different loop, and that was actually used to happen a beat, and it was almost like a 808 programming thing. Like how I used to do it on Pro Tools, quantize audio,
So
switch
what
it.
Pro Tools version was this? Like, there was just a two-track version, or this was a proper Pro Tools like multi-track version?
No, I think it is a 16 track. When the 001 released,
Ah, okay,
uh,
that time.
yeah.
So it was a
So
multi-track by then, yes.
then from Real Image, our Ravi, Mr. Tall
Ravi.
Ravi Shankar, he came to Vizag and installed that Pro Tools 001 rack.
So how
And
are you working in Pro Tools and Beat? Like, were you doing it like a matrix thing, or were you just kind of doing track-wise and just putting beats where you want to? How are you working in Pro
all
Tools?
tracks, let's say, it used to have separate tracks, snare used to have separate tracks.
Okay.
So everything, like how the MIDI sequencer we used to do, the
Hmm.
same way. So that's
Okay.
how I used to do all chopping and all on the fly on the Pro Tools. So
So where did this music interest come from? Like, you were getting so comfortable with doing this chopping of beats and stuff like that. So where did this interest come from? I mean, where did you kind of figure out that this is interesting, that I want to do this?
right from childhood, like when my dad was actually doing his research, and that was agricultural folk songs. So he
Oh,
was doing
wow.
research on that. So he went to Wisconsin, he went to Mauritius. So all their
Oh, wow.
while they're doing all the agriculture, like say cutting
They are
sugar
singing.
cane, like they have some kind of folk songs. So on
Mm.
that he did his research, and also there are like how kirtanas are there, like that there are
Hmm.
folk songs are there, and
Hmm.
he used to sing when I used to be on his like he used to keep me like this on his shoulders and all, and he used to sing those. So so I think
Okay.
that would have actually connected connected me without
Somewhere.
knowingly. He's a professor, and the
Okay.
whole family scene doesn't have any musical background that time.
Hmm.
But he had that interest, and I used to listen to a lot of Ilayaraja's songs, and of course that time Michael Jackson, and some one of my few of my friends used to come and get those polygram cassettes, ABBA and all those. And that time the even the in Vizag there were very few music shops also to just go
Shops
and
to go
listen
and
to,
buy. Hmm.
go and buy.
So that is why your AR's connection with you is that Beat It song, Michael Jackson. That's why you both have that affinity with that song. Is that it?
No, one of the strangest brief composer would give is Rahman sir would say that inspire me. It's not like I want the song like this particular song is there. You just do a song like this. There's nothing. The brief is ulta, like not unlike other composers would say just okay, this is there. Hamma hamma, just copy it. That's not like that. So it's not like nothing is a mashup actually. So and when I joined Rahman sir's, see as a engineer I used to do sessions and all at Ranjit sir's place. But the thing is when I had to play something to Rahman sir to just say that I also program.
Hmm.
So then I did one. Basically, I think it's Logic 6 and one of Ranjit's laptop. On that, I programmed and I sent it to him. So then, initial first 2-3 seconds, he thought the laptop speakers gone because I was using all the bit shifter and all on the starting itself.
Okay.
the first, the first
Okay.
initial 10 seconds was like full only noise. So he thought that. So
Hmm.
programming on Pro Tools is like always an edge for me because it's all It's a
You grew up doing
digital.
that. You
Correct.
grew up working on that more than anything else.
Mm,
While others shifted to it later, they were using it
correct.
as a editing and a mixing tool. You were using it as a programming tool, as opposed
Correct,
to
sir.
that. So yeah. So
Mm.
you met AR at Nirvana, or how did that happen?
At Nirvana. But the thing is, like,
Okay.
I said, like, Naveen Anna is that flute
Hmm.
Naveen Anna. So what he said, like I told him, like, see, now I'm in Vizag and everything is good. It's like almost like a frog in a well. So
Oh,
I
there is
want
somebody
to,
from Romania. Wow. Hello, hi from Romania, man. There's somebody you know?
hey, yeah, violinist, composer.
Ah. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Mm.
Welcome. Okay. So then what did you tell Naveen Anna?
But Anna, like, I want to move to Chennai actually to work with Rahman sir.
Okay.
So by then, like, there was like one battalion of engineers at Panchtan there, already there. So he said, rather go to Mumbai, so it'll be nice. And that time it was only two places I went. Like one is Salim Suleiman and second is Ranjit sir. So
Okay.
both said like there we have already engineers and all, so we'll let you know. So then I came back.
But you applied for programming work or you applied for engineering work? Like what were you looking for? Engineering. Okay.
This additional programming is always a extra GST. Basically, the product is there. So when I don't like a cake, I usually change it off and say, okay, this is there. I joined both, and I said I want to work because technically Salim Suleiman is very insane those days. Like even now,
Hmm.
whatever the works they did, they were amazing. At the same time, nothing like Ranjit sir because everything was textbook, like literally
Right.
how to mic the guitar. So there are two. It's like two universities on that, like to apply.
Right.
Then I came back and to Vizag, and suddenly in just 1 2 weeks, I got a call from Ranjit sir that we need uh, your services. You come to Bombay. I said, how many days, sir? No. You can come with your
Pick your bag and come.
yeah. Boria Bistamar. I landed, and the second half of Mehuna background score was happening, and like I almost like on the next day, Clinton came with like one like all, and that time the choir Clinton's choir was Clinton, Dominic, Kunal Ganjawala,
Hmm.
Gayatri, who else
Gayatri,
was
yes.
there? Yeah, Nandini, Shikhar, Vijay. So
All the top
this,
singers, huh?
yeah, Clinton came and said, Deepak, open about 32 tracks, pan this, and then once we are done, this duplicate it. I said, so then, see, I know him as a Satya. All those I know, I heard, but the thing is, I never met them as like, I haven't recorded them. So it was like all goosebumps every
Hmm.
track I used to record. So then in the middle, he said that, okay, Clinton, there's a small part which is a little out of tune. Can we record it? So till that, no one knew I was a musician also. So that, uh,
Okay.
so
So that came as a
and
surprise
the
to
thing,
them.
and Naveen Anna actually warned me, don't tell anyone that you're a musician. First settle as a
Engineer.
engineer. Will take time and then do. That whole thing was like happened one by one.
Ah,
Like
right.
Ranjit says, one of the song is a 9/8 song basically.
Hmm. Hmm.
And worst part is it's not even a simple 9/8 song. It's a four and a half, four and a half. Yeah, more.
Oh,
Yeah, 1 2 3 4 and 1 2 3 4 and that
I know.
half and
I like that.
so
Oh,
and
Ranjit loves doing that. Yeah.
and I used to edit those and all. So it was much fun to edit all those rhythm and all. And even in Vizag, I used to do lots of Carnatic music recordings, which was like
Okay.
there's a song called Andro Mahal Maulu, which is about 21 minutes song. So in
Wow.
between there is an issue, they used to play it again and record it again. So like that, I must have done more than about 400 to 500 songs, only Carnatic
My God.
classical songs. Then in Vizag,
Wow.
So that actually.
John Stewart is here as well. He finally found time to come
Oh,
online. Wow. Good evening, Mr. John. John joined and Deepak's video went into pause mode. Hmm. So you recorded those 400 songs, which gave you this huge experience in South Indian classical Carnatic music. Then I think I met you at Nirvana as well, one of AR's recordings. That's where we met once. Then yeah, and then cut to straight to Chennai, where then we ended up collaborating on a lot of projects together after that. So how
correct.
was your stint at Chennai with AR? Like, how was that working with him? I mean, everybody has their own opinion of or perception of how AR works, and how he programs or how he does things. So, what is your take on that, Deepak?
The first project which I actually went to Chennai was this one, Janatiya Jan, that time.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it was like shockers almost every 3 days, literally.
What used to happen is like Rahman sir used to say, okay, Deepak, finish this and mix it. So then I mixed it. I used to play him. Said, okay, let's go to Panchtan because I was in a different studio, ground floor, AM ground floor. So I used to go there, basically mix it, and then after some time, he used to say, mix it again. So I was never like, what is this? Like the other composers are usually once mix is done, they listen to it, few changes and all. So then he said, okay, there's a song, Janitya Janana, just do something. So then, Janitya Janana, I actually, no, one of the song, what is Papu Kanda Chala? Rahman said, see, this rhythm is fine. Can you do some additional stuff, like additional programming, some programming and all? And that was like one big nitro for me straight away. I said, yeah, that's it. So I programmed that song. Then again, I programmed Kabhi Kabhi Aditi. And I literally made it like Billie Jean. Just the bass is not there, but everything was Billie Jean. So then Buzz Tadwala, he came, heard it, he got a shock. Then Rahman sir came. Let's put only some fills and all. We will not use so much. So eventually it was only very, very, very small sprinkles were there. So then I used some of the Logic's brush kit and programmed a few of the Jane Tu Ya Jane Na completely. The mix is sounding good. Let's send it to Ranjit. He'll play drums and send it back. So those kind of shockers happen every 2-3 days. Once you think that it is final, okay, it is final. Before 3-4 finals, it was like that.
Fine.
So till the movie, till the songs are released, it's never final at our at that end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the way it works. So you work with different people, like, you work with artists, independent musicians, you worked with Bollywood film musicians, you work with people in the South, you work with people in the eastern part, in the Telugu, you work in Bombay. So is there any difference in terms of area geographically, people, how they work, and also vis-a-vis individual artists? And of course, everybody wants to know how are they all different as compared to AR? You just mentioned one of the way he works, but any difference between, and how do you adjust to that? I mean, if there is a difference.
See, now the thing is, at one time, people used to just research what all Rahman sir used to use. Those gear only a lot of people used to buy. At the end of the day, see, people buy the same groceries, same elements, everything. If the cook is not happening, that used to happen. Like say, as an engineer, I used to see like people buy the same equipment, same library. But the thing is, the focus what I used to, I worked so extensively. Like you also worked with Ahmed sir. Like so, the way he works is the mainly the discipline. What Rahman sir and a lot of other composers. I'm not saying that discipline is not there in other guys, but the thing is, it's just the way the working style itself is completely different. Like say, how people go to the school from morning till night, evening, then homework. The same way he makes his daily routine in that way. Musically, musicians are different. like say all different parts. So eventually, what happened? Rahman sir said, look, Rahman sir started doing all, like say, North Indian music, like say Bollywood music, come to Bombay and record. So the flavors, when the rhythm of Mumbai musicians, the same he used to club with Chennai musicians. The
Right.
tonality itself, it was so different. Like say when Vishal Shekhar's Chennai Express happened, so all this 1, 2, 3, 4, that was
Mhm.
dubbed everything in Chennai.
Okay.
So the tonality, composition, everything, the tune is like all Bollywood feel, but the music was so nice, so different.
Right.
It's just because the musicians were used from there.
Chennai.
Correct.
Okay.
So the thing is, a singer, if he wants to use some kind of instrument, he straight away picks that musician from abroad or whoever. The feel is never changed. There is no mimicking of a product which is not from there. That's
Right.
that one thing I always feel that. And
Okay.
one the reference is always there for Rahman sir. Okay. So whatever
Yeah.
his approach is, a shoot mix, whatever he gives, that is what a final mix should sound. So that is always his approach. So other composers, what I felt was that कुछ करके दे देना यार. So the thing is that is on our head, but here it is at least we know the route map where to go. Ramansa says, "See, this is my
Right.
synth keyboard. I want the synth violence and the live violence should sound the same level." So all those have been done by him. Even while we are doing so much of mixing and all, but at the end of the day, it has to match his reference and his idea, whatever
His
he
vision. Yeah.
composed. Yeah.
Yeah. I was discussing this on a chat the other time as well with one of the guests as well, that reference is so important because the reference is finally the one which everybody has approved. I mean, think about it: the lyricist, the music director, the producer, the
Make a twist.
director. Yeah, they've heard that and said, yes, this song is final. We like it. So obviously there is something happening in that reference mix which everybody's approved. So AR's way of looking at it, which I thought was, don't deviate from it. Like, this is where we is. If you can take it forward, great, but don't deviate from that. I think that's
Exactly.
what is, and I think that's a good place to be. You should always have that reference. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but I would actually veer off.
Mhm.
And initially, I got knocked on my knuckles saying, "What the hell are you doing? Where are you going with this?" And then I started myself checking every time I went off somewhere I would have. So he would insist, like, to have the reference mix at the bottom sitting on the session all the time so that we can switch back and forth with it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Recently, one mix I did. It's a new guy, new music producer, composer. So the thing is, he sent me hi hats open, hi hats closed, hi cymbal separate, everything separate. I said, can you send me the reference mix what you did, like the because shoot is already done. I said, see the mix is sounding really good, the production mix. Just send me few stems, so about some 20
Right.
tracks and vocals separately, so that I'm
Right.
not touching the musical balance. So he could not get digest that one. So Deepak, at the end, we are giving you just because the mix should sound much better. So much better means it should not be like again I'm starting from click track. It should be whatever you have visioned and from there it should go. So eventually I didn't mix it because that guy said, sir,
So,
I'll give this way. I didn't do it.
so they thought they were
He
not
said,
getting their money's worth if you mixed from their stems.
right. So eventually I didn't do that. So
Okay.
I downloaded it and it was like say this lockdown time. It was some 9.5 GB, a simple song.
So, how was it working with Ricky? How did you connect with Ricky and working with him?
I was actually voting for Grammys. One album came called Shanti Orchestra. So I said, who is this? And one of a common friend like Shreyas Srinivas. So he said, bro, this is actually one guy from Bangalore. So I was like shocked. I said, oh, wow, lots of good work. And that too, he haven't worked any major films and all. See, in India, good, big means it is only films, Bollywood. In when we were kids, Magna Sound
Shreyas is
and all
online
those.
saying hi.
SNS. so, so,
SNS.
so bigger musicians in the sense in our India, it is all film music, right? like long time ago, good music means it is always indie music, like say Pia Basanti, Magna Sound, whatever they released that time. Like those were
Yeah,
awesome albums that time. And after film music became so big, hopefully now after lockdown, everyone would have understood understood that independent music is also important. Films are not releasing,
yeah,
where you will release.
absolutely, absolutely.
So then I researched about him, about Ricky. So then I've seen him, I pinged him. So then after Shanti Orchestra, which didn't got nominated, the next album was Wings of Samsara. Then he said, "We want you to mix the songs and all." So by then, by the time we got connected, it was too late. So then I mixed the surround album
5 point
of that
around album. So
5.1.
for that was your second Grammy, right?
Grammy nominated album. I didn't win it, but the
Okay,
worked on it
the work
came
album.
nominated.
So somebody also asked me the question: how did you handle the adulation of the first Grammy with Slumdog Millionaire, which you got? So how does one handle that?
See, the thing is, it was anyway a shock. See, all Grammys are like usually Michael Jackson and all, like the level is so big when we watch the Grammys also. It is never that you will actually stand there also in the Grammy Awards ceremonies. The thing is, we were working on Ravan, Rahman sir and Mani sir both were sitting, and I got a mail from Grammys that congratulations on your winning on Grammy and all. I said, this is some fake, fake email for sure. Uh, see, all these emails came after 1.5 months or 2 months of the main event happened. I think in March, I think I got a email about this. So
Right.
then I took email ID and showed it to sir. Sir, this email have come and they wanted my address and acknowledgement. So then Raman sir was also shocked. Wow, like even Sridhar sir would get it. Sridhar sir, me and Vivian were the
Vivian.
engineers where we worked in that album, main core engineers. It was like shock only, but till the trophy came, I didn't tell anyone. That it pata chala ek one certificate they send it and okay congratulations. So you never know. Like you won
Okay.
a lottery.
So let's say if that is a watershed, like before the Grammy you got and after the Grammy that you got. Now that's two things. So is there a difference in Deepak PA and things around you because of that one watershed?
6 months I didn't got any work apart from Mehman sir. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot
Okay.
of people thought this guy would have increased his fees or attitude would have been gone much higher, something or the other. So
But don't you think that's strange? Because I felt the same way. I mean, I'm not won the Grammy or anything, but even when I got the national award and the Filmfare, after that, you think that, hopefully people will be lining up. Finally, your work is acknowledged, that there'll be a lot of work happening. But you're right. Actually, no work happened 6 to 8 months after that. I I totally empathize with that. So yeah, that did happen.
no, we have to think that Indian way. That see, whenever we get there, we have to take nazar utarna hai. So, 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 so
Okay,
much of for good and evil energies are there. So we have to think that with nazar utar do that mode.
I'll remember that. Okay, good. So Deepak, tell me, from what I know, you are almost like a nomad. You shift so many cities, you shift so many studios. You travel all over. So how do you peg yourself down? Like I'm sure you have a basic mobile system with which you work out of, through your laptop or whatever. You have a basic system which you travel with. So what are the basic essentials? Are there you guys is showing you what he works out of? Yeah, I see that. There's a keyboard. Okay. Ah, that's his laptop with a Neve sticker on top.
This is my regular. See, this is one of the.
Ah, Yes,
So I use
with the
it.
Focusrite mic pre's.
Correct. So I use it
Oh, I
as
used to
a
love this.
yeah. I use it as a headphones pre also.
Pre also. So what is it that you work on? So obviously you work mostly in the box from what I see. And so what is your basic working mode? Like how do you attack? How do you work out on a, when you get a song, you could be sitting anywhere. It's on your laptop. So what are your go-to plugins? People will want to know like what is it that you can't live without? What is it? How do you go through the song?
Uh, See, I usually test almost every plugin whatever is released,
Hmm.
and I use it for all those testing period. And if I like it, I buy it. But eventually, I have a now for past since the lockdown, I've been using only 7 plugins literally, like
Oh, which ones?
uh, Isotope, all the Nectar for vocals, Nectar 3, Isotope, Neutron 3 for all the musical balancing and all.
Right.
Before I used to use Alloy. Now Alloy is no more, so I'm using Neutron. And
Mm-hmm.
for all the music mix and all, finally Ozone is there.
Ozone.
But reverbs I'm using, before I used to use Native Instruments RC 24, 48.
Okay, yeah.
Even I used to use in Reactor. There's amazing reverbs are there. Space,
Hmm.
time space is one of the reverbs are there. Very good ones. So
Okay.
those I used to use. And there used to be a big battle between me and other engineers at Raymond's place also, because I used to use all those different plugins where everyone would have been using the regular
Right.
Altiverb or some UAD plugins,
Yeah.
whatever is there. So I used to use this, like whole of Slumdog. The sessions were filled up with Cog MDX. There's a small plugin, very small plugin, MDX, and it's unavailable now. It's not there, but it's very small and very effective there those days. So if someone opens those files, finished.
They're not going to
After the,
open.
those
They're not going to
plugins,
play the same way. Yeah, they won't.
yeah.
Plugin is not there.
So
Yes.
so mostly they open only the stems and go ahead. So nowadays reverbs I'm using R4 from Exponential Audio,
Exponential audio.
uh, which comes with isotope bundles only. Even
All
the
right. Okay.
Nimbus is like that. So that's how that's where everything ends. From the vocal tuning and all, I use vocal synth for some synth effects and all vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I use Waves Tune, and I have a Meloden also running
So
through.
but for processing vocals particularly, anything that you have that you use a lot after the
Uh,
correction pitch or anything to process the vocals?
Mostly Neutron and Nectar itself.
Okay. So within that bundle only is what you're saying is where you stay.
Mostly that dynamic EQ. The tonality doesn't go out, but whenever someone is screaming and all, only that frequency is just going down. So I use only those.
Mm, right.
Trying out all new plugins, like say I try lots of Waves plugins also. I try it and
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays I tell Ravi that, bro, this one would have been that, do this one. So all my additional inputs I give. But the thing is, see, DAW is like a house. So it's waste of having 20 bathrooms and 20 bedrooms in one house. So it's just choose your
Okay.
better room and just build your house, and that's it. It should
Around
not
that. Do you use any stock plugins of Pro Tools that you like? I haven't.
Pro EQ, Pro compressor.
Mm-hmm.
That is really the Pro the
Okay,
dynamic
good.
thing. That is really good.
Okay.
Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Heat I work. Heat every
Project The
song I
Heat is
work.
on.
Heat is on. uh, so even if it is tracked in Neve, also I want heat on. that
Are you using any UAD plugins?
so,
You're not using any
see,
UAD stuff.
by like say, see, the thing is, what I worked with, what I know, came to know when I was working with Rahman sir is like say, a a session should always be backward compatible, and anywhere you take it, it should be there. So sometimes he says, Deepak, you're using some plugin, you have to buy one more plugin and keep it in AM Studio or Panchatan. He used to say that. So every time I used to get a new plugin, I used to make sure install it there. A lot of
Yeah,
my 3 licenses to just wipe out like that.
I've gone. But I know I used to bring some of my plugins with my iLog to work there, and I would leave. And then he would open a
Magically.
session and they would not be there. So he would like say, "You don't do that." So I said, "You buy one and keep one here." So finally, I think he got the bundle, and so we were okay with using my plugin. But then I started bouncing the plugins that
Hmm.
I'd used. I think you also did that as well. Bounce the
Hmm.
plugin and leave the audio track for him to kind of in case he wants to mess with it later. Yeah, that happened a lot. That
Like
would
a few of the songs, I mixed it for Clinton. That
right,
Shore Police, his band, he and Bianca.
Bianca,
So
right,
so we used to do back and forth, like say Deepak just do some edit and all. So I made sure that
and send him back.
he bought, so he bought the isotope bundle. So he bought those bundles, and so we only the first initial session was like the main wave session and all. So then later on, all the sessions used to be just only the sessions used to transfer. So he used
You
to
send
load.
only the sessions. Yeah.
Correct. So he used to open the session and he used to tweak something, and then that's it. Send the master that way.
Okay,
So,
that used to happen. Okay, cool. So somebody's asking a question to you saying, what about saturation? Do you use saturation a lot, or do you find hardware versus software any difference between saturation?
see, my side, see, hardware or software, at the end of the day, it's all about your listeners' point of view. So, at the end of the day, you play it in an auto rickshaw or you play it in a club. The thing is, it's all about listening. So, they will not say that you used a hardware or a software. At the end of the day, it's all
Right.
listening is the matter. 3 or 4 songs are there. Like, if it's like a full reverbed out songs and all, then I listen to Coldplay for like 3 4 times and then sit on a song so that ears have been it get
Okay, so
climbed
you
up.
reference, you kind of get stylistically a similar song which has already been released, and you kind of listen
Hmm.
to that to kind of get your brain adjusted to that tonalities, and then you start mixing. Is that what you do? That's what you're saying?
Yes, so the
Okay.
calibration is very important. If a song is like Renato and you're listening to one Black Eyed Peas, it will never never match. Should at least genre specific has to be matched correctly. You listen to it. So when I used to work on Ricky's projects, all new age projects, so I used to listen to Enya or all
Right.
those genres. So it at
World
least
music
gives
genre.
you.
Yeah.
See, I don't go anything towards textbook. You have to use only this. You can't pan this like that. I've learned everything by listening. Whatever, like say, I was
Right.
recently talking about Sridhar's mixing. Like
Hmm.
so, there is like one of the song in Budalwar. In between, there's like too much of traffic jam is there. So what he does is suddenly he decrease the left side of rhythm section. So there is
Hmm.
one nice harmonica is there. Once that harmonica piece is there, gone, then he increases the
Increases
uh,
it.
left rhythm. So it's all about clearing the traffic jams.
Absolutely. So, how do you manage working in different studios, monitoring, and also this is one way referencing, or do you switch back to headphones versus monitors? How does that work for you?
Both I do. See now, any studios which I don't know, and I'm using it.
Hmm.
I just take that reference for SonarWorks has got reference for. It's
Right.
a calibration this thing. So it's
Software.
just
Yes.
about it's just half an hour to 1 hour
Hmm.
calibrating the room, and the room is
Yeah.
calibrated nearest almost not so nearest possible, but at least it's very good. So
Okay. Yeah. Good.
at least you know the room and all. But in the
True.
headphones, I listen to it. So, but my basic calibration tool is Beat It and Billie Jean. So Billie Jean, I listen to it about 5 to 10 times a week minimum.
So somebody's asking here, like, so, and I also joined in with another question is that how do you manage to work large session and long hours? Like, how do you manage to keep yourself fresh and with new ideas? Sometimes you might be working in a very long session and long hours. So how do you keep that freshness alive within yourself?
Like we should never work on same song for more than 3 hours. That is one
Okay.
thing. You can chill out, go out, or anything. Like when I was mixing, even like Rockstar is there. I was called. I said, okay, Deepak, there are few songs. Few songs is like 13 songs. So like, so there is like Tum Ho song is there, very light and all. So whenever my ears used to die out of the Saddahak, and then I used to mix a slower song and just ease the this thing. And there is no what is called. You can just go chill, have coffee, have a drive, and then come back. There's that comfort was not there. 1 week we have to finish all those songs that time. So and that particular album has different genres in one album. Like same
Yeah.
thing even in our this thing like Delhi Six. When
Such a wide.
I dubbed, yeah, wide genre. That so
Yeah.
after Renatu, I did like Kala Bandar. So I had little little space to just go and work on it.
That's how you handle that part of it. Um,
Hmm.
any advice for youngsters who are coming in who actually have no idea of analog at all, which is okay. I think that's fine. But working in the digital domain, working in the box, working maybe just in a small room on small speakers and headphones, what advice would you give them, or what would be the pitfalls that they need to watch out for if they're doing that kind of work in that environment?
See, mixing you can do anywhere in the box or anywhere. But while capturing, it's very important. Like say, one can't capture a photo in the night and say, Deepak, make it like a day shot. It can't happen that.
They
So you
should.
have to one should capture very well. So if you don't capture it well, it's really hard. So recently the small stuff which has come, like say AKG, the new Lyra mic is there. It's small, but at the same time it's very good in the A to D conversions and all those. We don't need a 32 in and out sound card. Rather have a 2 in 2 out very good capturing sound card, which
The
has
sound
very
card.
good mic pre. If you don't have a mic pre, invest in a mic pre. But the thing is, don't need a 32 channel array. There is not so anyway that many outs we are not even using. At the end of the day, we are using only two tracks of
Two channel
left and right speaker or a left and right headphones.
headphones.
Eventually, it is that. Rather have a very good USB or a Thunderbolt in a small two-in-two out sound card and deal with it.
Makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. And do you, when you're finishing your mix, do you actually end up mastering it also as well while you're mixing, or do you leave some work to be done for the mastering engineer? How do you work?
So I finish a mix, approve it, and then I take about some 4 to 5 stems, which is like vocals, background vocals, rhythm separate, music separate. So that way
Right.
I master those stems.
Hmm.
So I don't get into the mix session and again master it. I take about this. So eventually, when delivering it to the record level, also it is very easy where we can just mute the vocals and it becomes a -1 or an IT. So I don't get into the big session again. So my after a mix is done, there are always the 16 channel stems are there,
Hmm.
5 to 10.
Which is what we normally make for when people they want stuff for film mixing. So we normally end up making stems 16 or 24, and we kind of condense the whole session down to about the basic stems. So that's what you're saying. So that is what one needs to do. So then you can just work out of that.
Exactly. So, and the thing is, I keep a session where almost whatever songs I have mastered till date, all are in the same project.
Hmm. Okay.
So a
Right. Makes sense.
rhythm track will always be a rhythm track there, apart from Rahman sir's
Got it.
songs. But so the vocals goes to the same bus and everything. So imagine a song is a hit like last year. So I listen to that session and listen to it. Okay, oh, this is what, like for example, Arjun is there, Arjun Kanungo. So I've been
Hmm.
mixing a lot of stuff.
So he will say, I want that vocal tone to be that particular ayana 2 or something, which I have done. So
Mm.
those kind of clients, I use the same project for all of his songs. So reference
Got it.
is easier for me. Copy
Easy
paste.
for you to do. Okay, there are a lot of engineers, a lot of people here asking about whether stock plugins versus third-party plugins, what presets, and about what are this that is going to become easier for engineers now that so many digital tools are there. So, guys, I'm just going to give a very quick answer to that, and we'll have Deepak also answer it. It's like, you're Michael Schumacher who drives a F1 car. Now, what would happen if you give Michael Schumacher a Fiat or an Ambassador? He'd still drive it beautifully. For him, the car is not the ultimate game; it's how he drives. So, same with an engineer. You might, if he's a good engineer and he knows what he's doing or she is doing, you can give them no plugins, and I'm sure they can still dish out a damn decent good mix. You give them plugins, they'll make it a better job as well. So these are just added things in which you get comfortable after a while. I mean, he's okay with Ozone right now. So it doesn't mean that Deepak PA cannot do a great mix if Ozone is taken away from him, right? He's just going to add that cherry on the top with that Ozone if he can. And so we all get comfortable with certain plugins and certain hardware, and those are a comfort zone because we spent a lot of time. Look what he said. He said he spent a lot of time studying those plugins in their trial, in the demo period, and further working on them. So he's spending time with the sonic imprint which those plugins are doing when he's tweaking it, and he's remembering that. So that comes handy when you have to quickly deliver something, you know exactly which one does what. So guys, it's not something that engineers can't do without, or our life would be hell if we didn't have third party or stock plugins. It is just all about, like I said, hearing what you are hearing in your head and how you're going to achieve that. So Deepak, if you have anything else to add on that.
So the first song of Arjun Kanungo, that was
Mm-hmm.
called as Baki Baate Pine Baat. Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
a massive hit from Sony. So I was
Right.
chilling out in Vizag, and I had my iLocks. I carry those iLocks, but I didn't have computer also that time.
Oh.
It was never a work related via journey. Like a lot of my Vizag trips, Vizag or Hyderabad is like going via Chennai. I go to Chennai, then go to Vizag, and then go to Bombay. That is my via trips. But this one I went to Vizag, and Sony guys called me, Rohan. So he called me and said, we need master ASAP. Said, bro, I don't have anything else in this particular thing. So then there are, give me about 4 tracks. So I called my friend. He had a MacBook Air that time.
Okay.
And headphones was Bose noise cancellation headphones.
Right.
I installed Logic in that particular MacBook Air, loaded 4 or 5 tracks, whatever the stems I got it for mastering, mastered it and
Mm.
sent it. That time there was like, I used to use DUI is a company. Amazing. They have a Magic Spectrum. There's a one compressor. There's a EQ is the Magic EQ is there. Now
Right.
they are not into so much of software, but that time it was really good plugins. They have
Mm-hmm.
got it. Really very good reverb plugin is there in that. So at the end
Right.
of the day, there's no like, because see, at that given time I can't even go to a studio and mix it also that time.
Sorry, Deepak, we are
Since
at
I was
52 seconds before we get kicked
cut.
out of Instagram.
Okay, so that
So
is
we'll
how.
continue this. We'll continue this at some other point, definitely. And
Hmm.
pick it up from where we left off, because I'm sure there's lots more that people want to know and lots more to discuss and share. This is just the beginning, guys. So hang around. We will do our regular engineers, and then we will get back to the ones which we want to do it again. So thank you a lot, Deepak PA, for being on this show. And thank you everyone for joining us. We will look at questions. If there's some unanswered, I'll ask him to answer it. So good night. Thank you. Stay
Thank
safe,
you.
Deepak. I love
Bye
your blue
guys.
headphones.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.